Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday, March 5th, 2026. This is Truth News. I am Walter Bass, and we saw yesterday one of the most disgraceful, despicable acts I've ever seen. Senator Sheehy broke a United States Marine Corps veteran's arm for speaking the truth. That is how bad these people hate the truth. They just hate the truth. Whether it's Kristi Noem, Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Mark Levine, Ben Shapiro, Erica Kirk, TPUSA, Mark Wayne Mullins, on and on, Mike Johnson, Lindsey Graham. These people are a satanic occult dead set to destroy the world because they are exposed for their crimes against humanity and what they have done to our children. Make no mistake about it. So before I get into tonight's show, which is going to be about the Nuremberg Trials, which I hope will come about in the next couple of years here in the United States, because what's going on is an exact replay of 1939 in Germany. And it involves the same exact group of people, the Oompa Loompa Tiny Hat people. Wherever they go, countries I just crumble. There's crimes against humanity, there's genocides, and they're always the victim. Isn't that ironic? The Oompa Loompa Tiny Hat Gang is always the victim, bring their own people, committing genocides, slaughtering children. Isn't that funny? It's always the same group of people wherever this happens. Well, hard to believe this is the United States of America in 2026. It's hard to believe that humanity as a whole, as a civilization, as a society, is actually behaving this way. It's almost unreal when you think about it. Supposedly, we share DNA with these people. By we, I mean the people who have empathy, compassion, remorse, guilt, have a conscience and a soul. We share DNA with people who eat children, rape children, slaughter children, and lie about it like it's no big deal. Today is day 1638. Since serial child rapist, serial child killer, state judge Kelly Hansen kidnapped, violently sexually assaulted, and murdered my son at 7 years old, my son was, when this all began. According to Capitol Police Intelligence, my son's been dead since at least 2024. I can't get any proof of life, can't get his remains back, can't even get his teeth, hair, or nails back from the United States government. That is, of course, because Kelly Hansen is a Mormon. That's right, this Mormon cult. So if you're a Mormon or a part of the Oompa Loompa Tiny Hat Gang, you get to do whatever you want to children with full protection by the United States government. So let's go ahead and get into tonight's show. And I want to start by saying that back in the World War II, when this whole propaganda crap began and they were brainwashing people and Hitler was taking over children and making children do unspeakable things, and the same exact thing that's playing out now. See, they wouldn't even let you speak back then. And they're still doing that to an extent now, but they've kind of turned the tables, and now they'll let you speak, but they'll censor you. They'll block your YouTube. They'll block whatever social media you got. I'm banned from X. I'm banned from True Social. I don't use Facebook or Instagram, although I do have accounts. I don't use them, so I don't use any social media, but I'm banned from at least 2 platforms. I have currently 2 restraining orders on me, one from Marietta Police Department, one from Riverside County Sheriff's Department, and I have a threat to cease and desist from Oklahoma City Police Intelligence Division, all for reporting crimes against children. Because evidently in the United States of America, raping, murdering, and eating children is now protected by all law enforcement agencies across the country. So the reason they want to control who hears you, they'll let you speak. They just will control who hears you, how much you get to get it out, which I make these videos. I'm sure they block or censor me or shadow ban me, as they call it, which means they pretend it's on their platform, but it's really not on their platform. It's in the back, hidden to where nobody can get to it. But I make these videos, and as soon as they're done, I upload them to the YouTube channel. And then when I'm done uploading, I immediately copy the link and send it across this whole country to anyone possible, as I would like to get my son's teeth, hair, and nails back to give him a proper funeral and move on with my life. He's been dead for years. I haven't seen or heard from my son since 2021. I'm sure he was murdered out of revenge because I turned the judge in, and the judge has 16 years worth of victims of children that he has kidnapped, raped, tortured, murdered, and sold. That's Kelly Hansen, Hansen. Look him up. He's in Marietta or Riverside County. So they want to control the narrative one way or the other. They want to control information. They want to control what you see. They want to control what you hear. And if you see or hear the truth, they want to tell you that's not true. The truth isn't true. The truth is what they say it is, which is all lies. Whether it's Erica Kirk, Donald Trump, Kristi Noem, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, lies, 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 all lies. There's only a handful of people I know telling the truth right now. That's going to be Candace Owens, Baron Coleman, Tucker Carlson, Mr. Let Go, Ian Carroll, Coach Colin. I think I already said him. Literally, there's just a handful of people telling the truth right now. So it's despicable. So this is all part of PSYOPs. We've been over this with the PSYOPs. I've done a couple of shows on PSYOPs. I keep coming back to PSYOPs because at the end of the day, that's what all of this is. It's just one big psychological operation ran by the intelligence agencies and the U.S. military, which have been infiltrated by the Oompa Loompa Tiny Hat Gang. So when the Nuremberg Trials happened, which were crimes against humanity for the absolute slaughter of innocent civilians for no reason whatsoever, the plea of superior orders, aka just following orders, was the common defense for all the people of the Nuremberg Trials. All the defendants who were on trial for crimes against humanity, the same defense. It was superior's orders, aka just following orders. And that plea was rejected by Nuremberg judges, saying that following orders does not relieve a person of responsibility under international law if a moral choice was in fact possible. I do believe that murdering civilians and raping children, I do believe that's a moral choice. You can't say I was told to do that, and so I had to do it. I mean, there are things that I don't care who tells me to do. I'm not doing it. Not going to happen. So, and that's international law. The defense argued, and it's hard to believe these people actually tried to defend themselves against these crimes against humanity. I want you to think about this. The audacity to commit crimes against humanity, which are the most barbaric and heinous acts one human being could do to another human being. One thing to commit them. It's another thing to actually try to defend it. You understand the psychology behind doing it is one level of just depravity. But to defend it, that is just unfathomable to me. It really is. So the defense argued that the defendants can't be charged for following the laws at the time. See, and that's what they're trying to do is use these laws and manipulate these laws to where it benefits them. For instance, right now, supposedly these are strategic airstrikes on Iran. It's not a war. Do you see how they use wordplay to try to manipulate the law? Because You need Congress's approval to go to war. But to just commit airstrikes, the president can make that call. And that's what they're doing, even though everyone knows what's going on. It's kind of like someone saying, we're not fighting. I just punched him in the face. Yeah, that's a fight. You punch somebody in the face, that's a fight. But they're trying to say, no, it's not a fight. We're not fighting. I just punched him in the face. That's all. So the judges ruled in the Nuremberg Trials, when they tried to argue that they can't be charged for following the laws at the time, the judges ruled that aggressive war crimes and crimes against humanity were punishable under international law, making following orders defense invalid. So, when it comes to crimes against humanity and war crimes, like bombing Venezuelan fishing boats, like genocide of children, like shooting unarmed or wounded people, those are all war crimes. And you can't say that we were following orders. That's invalid. You cannot say that. You don't get to murder people who are already in wheelchairs and say, well, that was the order I was given. No, there are rules and laws, international laws outside of the United States. That's what the United Nations is for, is to, hold everybody to a standard of humanity. Although barbaric acts are committed by all governments. The Ayatollah, horrible, despicable. I get it. Saddam Hussein, Putin, Kim Jong-un, Xi Jinping, I get it. These people are not good people. They're not moral people. I get it. But they don't commit the crimes against humanity we are seeing by the Oompa Loompa Tiny Hat Gang in the United States of America. They're not doing that. If you go to Russia, Russia doesn't look like the United States of America. Russia doesn't look like Detroit. Let me say that. Russia doesn't look like Southern California. Let me say that. Because they understand they got a country to operate. I mean, what good is ruling over a country if your citizens are all drugged up, sick, obese, dead? I mean, what are you're gonna rule over a mountain of rotting corpses and call yourself a nation? China don't do that. Russia don't do that. I'm not saying they're great countries and they're great leaders. I'm not saying that. But they have boundaries. They understand that there's so far you can go with certain things. And right now, the Oompa Loompa Tiny Hat Gang and the United States government, there's no boundaries. There's no limits to how far they will go, the crimes they will commit. So, just a reminder, these events that I'm speaking about, the Nuremberg Trials, World War II, happened from, the World War II happened from September 1st, 1939 till September 2nd, 1945. Immediately, the Nuremberg Trials began from 1945 to 1949. Now, I cannot prove this, but my intuition and discernment tells me that a lot of this was just staged because it was so brutal, so barbaric, that they had to put on a show to make it look like people were held accountable. I don't think a lot of people were held accountable. I think people were brought over here and protected and hidden and coddled by the United States government. This has been going on. And the reason we're seeing a lot of this stuff right now with our media, with all of these creatures in the government, is from the Smith-Mundt Act of 1948 to prevent this from ever happening again. That was the anti-propaganda law. And that was passed in 1948. So a government couldn't use propaganda to brainwash its own citizens so the government could conduct evil. That was the whole purpose of that act. And Obama reversed it in 2013. And then he started pushing propaganda. And if you remember, Obama didn't get a lot of negative media coverage. He actually got praised in the media for, we had the real estate collapse. We had a lot of financial collapse. There was a lot of handouts. I remember at the time I'd switched jobs. And while I was switching jobs, I was drawing unemployment. And they were giving out like 2 years of unemployment. I thought, who would want to not work for 2 years? I mean, what is that going to do to you when you got to go back to work? 2 years not working? They were giving out crazy amounts of unemployment, trying to keep people from going to work and all that. And it's, same reason you don't feed the animals in the park. You got to have limits. People need to have a purpose. They need a reason to get up every day. They need something to do with themselves. Otherwise, it destroys your spirit. It destroys your drive, your willpower. It is detrimental to the human psyche and the human spirit to not have a purpose, not have a job. So, and I keep going back to this propaganda. I've covered the Smith-Month Act in an earlier episode because these people just keep repeating the same lies over, and they're not even good at it because it's not the same lie. If you notice, every time the lie changes a little. The lie, it's the same premise of a lie, like we have to do this. But the reasoning behind we have to do this is always changing. It never stays the same. So, I keep hammering on the truth because that's the only thing that defeats lies is the truth. That's it. And the truth really doesn't require any energy, doesn't require any thought. Lies will wear you out psychologically, emotionally, spiritually. To have to keep a lie going is mentally and emotionally draining. To tell the truth all day, every day, no problem. No problem. We can tell the truth all day now till the cows come home. Whether it's Candace Owens, Baron Coleman, Ian Carroll, Mr. Let Go, Coach Colin, don't matter who it is. Valhalla, Native Valhalla. It's wearing like the Ben Shapiro's, the Mark Levines, the Alex Jones. It's wearing those people out to try to keep this lie going. Fox News, it is exhausting to try to keep a lie going because you have to keep lying and you have to keep adding lies. Layers and layers and layers and layers of lies. So, where am I at? Let's count the scapegoats used by the Oompa Loompa tiny hat people for their evil agenda. Let's count all these. So they blame China for COVID. No. COVID was an internal psyop from the United States of America to shut down the world. It was just a big psyop. It was. I had an uncle that died from a heart attack, listed as COVID. My mom knew someone that died in a car wreck. Cause of death, COVID. From COVID, from 2020 till 2022, whenever it was, that time frame, almost every single death was listed as COVID. It didn't matter. Gunshot wound, car wreck, suicide, poisoning, whatever the case may be, listed as COVID. Cause of death for everybody was COVID. And this is just a big psyop. And it derived from the Oompa Loompa tiny hat people. It all derived from the Oompa Loompa tiny hat people. Let's go to the next one. They blame Hamas for Gaza. Who do you think funds Hamas? The Oompa Loompa tiny hat people. Who do you think allowed Hamas into their country to just run free and run rampant? The Oompa Loompa tiny hat people. You know why? So they could get what they wanted. It's kind of like a bully picking on someone they know they can beat up and they're dying to beat them up. But it's like, if I hit you first, everybody's going to think I'm the bad guy. But if I can get you to hit me, I can beat the crap out of you and then I'll be the hero too. So I'll get both. I'll get my cake and eat it too. I get to beat the crap out of you and be the hero instead of a bully. So what they do is they goad and bait and run psyops and play the victim, and they actually pay people to attack them. They're the Jesse Smollett of nations. I'm telling you, this is a common theme. Let's go to the next one. They blame Ayatollah for Iran. They blame nuclear weapons. They blame ballistic missiles. Now they're up to, and I think I said this yesterday on yesterday's show. They are actually saying that Jesus anointed Donald Trump to kick off Armageddon to bring Jesus back. I know if I was doing the things these people were doing, I wouldn't want Jesus to come back. He's not going to come back as your friend. He's coming back for wrath and vengeance. He's not coming back for love and mercy. No, we did that on the cross. Jesus gave love and mercy on the cross. We have already been down that road. This time, it's wrath and vengeance. So I wouldn't poke the bear, as they say. And I definitely wouldn't provoke Jesus Christ. I wouldn't smite the Almighty Creator. I wouldn't do it. But these psychopaths, I don't know what's wrong with them. They blame anti-Semitism for the truth. Tell the truth and watch how you get called anti-Semitic. Maybe a senator will break your arm. Tell the truth and maybe a senator will break your arm if you're a Marine veteran. Right, Senator Sheehy? Isn't that right, sir? Didn't you break a United States Marine Corps veteran's arm for telling the truth? They blame the media for the truth. Fake news. Fake news. See, that's how you know you're telling the truth. It's called fake news. Anytime somebody says it's fake news, I would check it out. It's probably the truth. Chances are. It's the newscasts that are agreeing with these psychopaths that's the fake news. So they blame Democrats for the Einstein files. Democratic hoax, Democrat lunatics. It's all Democrats. It's the Clintons. It's the Clintons. It's the Democrats. I mean, they play the victim and blame everyone. This is for decades, for centuries, for hundreds of years. The Oompa Loompa Tiny Hat Gang plays the victim, blames everyone because they're evil. They're sick, they're twisted. That's why they're banned from 109 countries. I listed some of the countries yesterday. They're banned. They've been expelled. Nobody wants them. Nobody wants to have anything to do with the satanic occult. These people are twisted. They're sick. They're barbarians. And I don't know how in the world our government ever got in bed with them. And I'm beginning to think that they've had control of our government this entire time. I'm beginning to think this has been going on since after World War II. I think this was their home away from home, if you ask me. So that's about all the notes that I have for tonight. I already wrote tomorrow's show up, which is going to be on how reality shows are CIA psyops used for psychological conditioning. And that's basically what we're watching play out in the United States government. It's just a bad reality show. These people are all actors. They're fake. They're LARPers. They run cosplay. It's just ridiculous. It's sick. And matter of fact, let's call 911 on Capitol Hill. And these people won't even take a report. I'm blocked from most of my congressmen and senators have blocked me for calling for years, 1,638 days. So let's call.
I can transfer you to our PRO office.
Excuse me?
I said I can transfer you to our PRO office.
You're on Truth News. You're on a YouTube podcast right now. I'd like to file a report for murder of my son, Grayson Bass.
That's okay. If I'm on YouTube.
Okay.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
Excuse me?
I said I'm not doing anything wrong.
Are you going to take a report? This is 911 on Capitol Hill, correct?
Yes, but do you have an emergency?
Yeah, murder of my child. Murder of my child.
No, sir. If it's for
See,
statewide.
This is they won't take a report for murder of children. This is what we pay taxes for, people. We actually pay these scumbags so they can murder our children and say we can't do anything about it. We can't file a criminal complaint. We can't take a report. Isn't that right? You're not going to take a report or a criminal complaint for the murder of my son, right?
No, sir, because we cannot
See,
if
that's what I'm saying.
DC, sir,
Yeah. This is 1,638 days of this. My 7-year-old son. Unbelievable. Well, we stay the course and we stay in faith to God, and that's all we can do. That's all I can do. Keep my trust and faith in God, keep moving forward, go to the gym every day, pray every day, read every day, meditate every day. So let's read Revelation 18. Let's start at 18:1. Babylon has fallen. After these things I saw another angel coming down from heaven, having great authority, and the earth was illumined with his glory, or illuminated with his glory. And he cried out with a mighty voice, saying, Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great. She has become a dwelling place of demons and a prison of every unclean spirit and a prison of every unclean and hateful bird. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the passion of her immorality, and the kings of the earth have committed acts of immorality with her, and the merchants of the earth have become rich by the wealth of her sensuality. Does that sound like America or not? Immorality, people becoming rich from corruption. Ladies and gentlemen, I do pray for our nation. I pray for the children. We do have Kristi Noem getting fired today, but she's replaced by Senator Markwayne Mullins. He's here in Oklahoma, and I've been contacting his office since 2022, and his office laughed at me and said there's nothing we can do. Nobody can do anything. Nobody can do anything to help me. United States of America, 2026. Unbelievable. So tomorrow's show is going to be about the reality shows by the CIA, started in the 90s. They actually started much earlier, 1948. But before I go, I just want to show a picture of the judge. So if you see this scumbag out in public, run away. Don't ever let your children near this guy. He is a serial child rapist, a serial child murderer. Kelly L. Hansen. That Mormon has 16 years worth of victims. My son is one of thousands. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time and attention. I hope you will like, share, and subscribe to this channel. I will make these videos every single day. Like I said, I send the video link across this country. Congressmen, senators, Ro Khanna, Thomas Massey, Robert Garcia, Sarah Jacobs, Tom Cole, Markwayne Mullins, national media, MSNBC, Fox, Candace Owens, Baron Coleman. I send it to anyone and everyone. Honestly, I would just like to get my son's teeth, hair, and nails back, whatever's left of him. I don't think there's anything left. But I would at least like to get a death certificate or some type of closure so I could just move on with my life. 1,638 days of being retaliated against by the United States government for reporting child sex trafficking of my son to the United States government. God bless America. Thank you for your time, everyone. Tomorrow is Friday. Hope everyone has a good night. I will see you tomorrow.